Today, justice has been served. Today, we prove that no one is above the law. No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
President Biden did willfully retain and disclose classified information, which is a crime, but ultimately decided that criminal charges are not warranted in this case. And he said that that would be true despite the Justice Department's policy that a sitting president can't be charged.
I think that this is really an extraordinarily unusual circumstance, that the law-abiding and rule-following New Yorkers who are business people have nothing to worry about because they're very different than Donald Trump and his behavior.
Before this trial even began, the judge ruled in our favor and found that Donald Trump did engage in years of significant financial fraud we uncovered. That no one is above the law. That no one is above the law.
Either I'm a creature of very, very particular habits, or everything really is related within 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, right? I've been talking a lot about Trump lawfare, which makes sense. I mean, who isn't, right? But also, for whatever reason, I've been kind of fixated on Jessica Tarlo. And on this episode of Clown World Attacks, we get to mix it all up together, right? And we'll also go into how I think this Trump civil case, like all the other cases really, seems to be just for show. Kangaroo court to the max, and it will get completely dismantled in even the most liberal of liberal appeals courts. But anyway, you know, Jessica has an almost impossible position, right? You can't envy her. Her job is to be the liberal apologist and liberal mouthpiece on Fox News, right? She has to play a supporting role for every stupid, every corrupt, and every misguided thing the left does. I don't know how you could possibly do that job. And this week, she's had the impossible task of explaining the justice in a case that was brought by an attorney general who literally made destroying Trump her campaign message. It was decided before it even began. And in the end, the mother of all victimless crimes came with an almost $500 million punishment to Donald Trump, who appears to only have committed the crime of doing business while Trump. Let's take a look at how she did, man.
How do you think the business community is actually looking at it? She says it's no big deal, but Kevin O'Leary says it's an atrocity.
I'm not sure. I think we'll have to see how it plays out on the appeals court, and that's what everyone is waiting for to see, right? Because the state will have to prove exactly who was the victim in all of this. And I'm assume they've thought about this long enough that they have a good answer for that. But basically, everyone who is defending Donald Trump in this, from Kevin O'Leary to some folks here, is saying it is okay to falsify your business records, to issue false financial statements, to commit conspiracy for insurance fraud.
Well,
when he goes out there,
where's the fraud?
The fraud is, and David Brooks lays this out really nicely. He was on a weekend show. He says you can't have 3 sets of books. You can't have the books for the bankers, so that's Deutsche Bank, who, is happy with all this. Then you have your IRS books, and we know that you're supposed to tell the IRS the truth. And then you have a set of books with the real numbers, I guess, which is what Alan Weisselberg had.
But
Donald Trump continually.
There were 3 sets of books. Where do you get that from? Where do you get that from?
That's part of what Judge had said that he because he's a lunatic, it means it didn't exist.
Yeah, this is Donald a judge Trump, who decides cases based on emotion.
Okay. I think emotion is hot at the table, and it is not emanating from me. So
the problem I think that most liberals have, and Jessica really is no exception, their arguments are backed by only hollow emotion, whereas conservatives, we back our arguments with facts because they're facts. I mean, that just makes sense, right? Liberals argue with a view of the world as they wish that it was, and conservatives, whether we like it or not, we see the world as it actually is. Numbers, X's and O's, facts. And honestly, the way liberals actually wish the world was, I just cannot understand how that could be their wish. What I'm trying to say is, no matter how warm and fuzzy your emotions are, they don't change facts. If you listen to what Jessica said there at the top, she almost admits that as the decision stands right now, it is not good for current or future business. And it's crazy. I mean, these people miss a couple of key things. First off, there wasn't 3 sets of books. No one ever said that in court. This is what these people do. They hear something on a weekend show and they just repeat it. It gets repeated enough times and now it's as good as true.
Since Donald Trump ran the first time, he has been making this argument: if they could do this to me, they could do this to you. The average person is not inflating their wealth by $800 million to $2.2 billion. They're not sexually assaulting women. They're not storing classified documents in the toilet. They're not fomenting an insurrection. Mar-a-Lago, you remember the documents?
Let's focus on this case. We can do
No, but it worries about Donald Trump. You always do that.
No, Jessica, you're doing a laundry list.
Really? You
You're
just
doing
said
a
Judge
laundry
Edgar on
list
this too.
when we're focused on one topic. We're focused on one topic.
Okay.
And yes, it does matter.
Falsifying your business records. Do you do that?
No. I'll tell you what I do, because I'm glad you asked. When you're in a contract negotiation with a company, let's say your contract is up and your company says, we want to renew your contract, and they don't give you a bump in the raise. That's the beginning. And then you come back and you go, you know what? I'm going to ask for the frickin' moon, which I always do. And I know I'm not going to get the moon, but I also know at the end of the day, they're going to see everything. I can say, I want $100 million over the next 6 months. They're going to laugh, laugh, laugh. But that doesn't mean I broke the law. It means this is what you put down in a negotiation. And as the judge said, it's all transparent. They actually see it. There is no fraud here, which is why you're bringing up other stuff.
No, it's not. I started with that, and then I said, actually,
argument.
it's a pattern. Well,
I'm sure.
I gotta get Jesse in. Let's just give you the final word.
I was going to say, you obviously, with respect, Jessica, know nothing about real estate valuations, real estate development, or the IRS, or getting loans from big banks to develop skylines in New York City. Donald Trump did more for New York City than 1,000 Letitia James has done.
This is what these people always do, man. Just think about her list. Think about it objectively and just with basic reasoning, right? They talk about sex assault. That's based on a 30-year-old event that a known crazy person says happened, that just so happens that crazy person can't remember the month or the year or the season. She can't even tell you what temperature it was outside. It also happens to match verbatim a Law and Order episode. So that one goes in the unlikely category. Inflating the wealth. They don't know what they're talking about there. That's also not exactly like they're saying. My favorite, insurrection. The only people that believe that J6 was an insurrection, they all have the same MSNBC tattoo. Her entire belief system is built on falsehoods, but she believes that they're true. And these people, they believe that those things are true. So if they believe all that is true, then everything about Donald Trump also has to be true. And this is what happens when your arguments, when your worldview is built on wish and emotion. But what they're really missing, I think, she kept talking about people defending Donald Trump because, of course, they believe defending Donald Trump to be some sort of mortal sin. Who could possibly defend Donald Trump? But what she's missing in this case, no one's really defending Donald Trump, mainly because there's really nothing to defend. They are defending the way business is done. They are defending equal justice. I mean, the entire world can see, aside from a few goofy libs, that this only happened like it did because it's Donald Trump. And if that's the test, if that's how things are decided, then no matter how much you hate the man, that is not justice. We're falling a very, very long way since the day of John Adams defending British soldiers in court. So far that, it's almost not even recognizable. But anyway, that's just my take, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. And if you haven't already, please join our channel. Help us to continue to grow. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.